I just woke up, but let's wrap up some books. Hey, what's up guys, it's Steph. Okay, and today we are here to talk about my, what month was it? September wrap-up, my Monsterathon wrap-up, wrapping up all the things at once because we're here, let's sit down and talk about books. So this month I read 9 freaking books, and I'm so stoked over that thanks to the Monsterathon. Almost every day there's about a week and a half that I didn't read at least 100 pages a day. So thanks to the Monsterathon, I read almost 100 pages a day for a lot of the month, like the majority of the month. So that really helped me get through books. And then I listened to some audiobooks because I was doing the Monsterathon. I one day binged a bunch of books on my day off. So there's also that helped contribute to this lovely count of 9 books. The first one we're going to talk about is an audiobook, and that one is Cruel Beauty. That one was for my Monsterathon challenge of Sacrifice because I saw someone DNF it. I listened to the audiobook and it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. It was a Beauty and the Beast retelling with like this, he was kind of a demonish guy. Yeah, I'd say so. He kind of like a demon where he did kind of crossroad deals in his house, but they always had consequences, so you better look out. And this girl, she was betrothed to him since she was a baby, and the whole life she has been wanting to kill him. But Beauty and the Beast retelling, she starts to fall for this cruel man, and stuff ensues. It was very interesting. I liked the demonic aspect of it. I liked like the cruelness of the character. That's weird to say, but I enjoyed it. It's not the only one where I enjoy like a really cruel character. We're gonna talk more about those books later, but Cruel Beauty, it was pretty good. I might pick up the book and just kind of read it outright to see if I enjoy that experience any better or what, but it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed Cruel Beauty. It was cool. Next up is a book that I own, but I don't know what I did with the copy because I'm a scatterbrain, and that is The Killer Book of Serial Killers. This one is one, pretty much as titled. It is a book about serial killers. It marks out some American serial killers. It branches out into serial killers across the globe. There's like an Australian one. There was one from Japan. There's like European serial killers. Like just a lot of stuff. Mostly it focused on the American serial killers, like the big ones like John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy. You know, I'm trying to think of other names, and they're like all right there, but they're not coming out of my mouth. You know. I'm really interested in that sort of thing, so I really enjoyed the book. Yeah, I enjoyed it. That's all I really have to say about it. It was messed up. It was really dark, especially what some of these people did to other people. It was like horrific, and I've covered it. Talked about my serial killers. What did I call that series? Serial killers. I don't know. I did a couple videos talking about serial killers, and I kind of relayed information from that book and all the research I did. They're not great videos, but they're out there. So there's that. I really enjoyed that one. I was glad to finally finish it because I started it last year. Then I kind of stopped, set the book down, and I picked it up, restarted it, and finished it through for the Monsterathon. Next up, my favorite read of the month, and one that I'm so happy my library loan finally came in for. It was the Try Guys Hidden Power of Fucking Up. I've had such a journey with this book before I even read it. From pre-ordering a signed copy to Barnes & Noble denying me my signed copy and taking my money and refusing to give me my money back. But I got to listen to the audiobook despite that process, and I think the audiobook is so good. It's like listening to the Tripod podcast. I don't want to go too far into this because I actually made a separate video just talking about this book, so you can check that out in the icon up above and the description down below. But I extremely enjoyed the Try Guys Hidden Power of Fucking Up. Like, I think this was my first 5-star of the month, and it's like one of my top books of the year. So thank you, Try Guys, because that was an incredible experience. I want a physical copy so bad. Next up is one that I do actually have with me, and that is Frostbite: Cannibal in the Forest by N.J. Hansen. This one is a self-published book that I got at the Merced Comic Con. And was it Merced? I believe so. This one wasn't great. There was a lack of detail. I actually have a video coming out on it soon, so again, I won't say that much about it, but it's really short. It's like 100 pages. It's really not good. It's not good. I got another self-published book from that same con that is so far a lot better, a lot more detailed, even though it's like a thing of short stories. It's a lot better. This is not that great, and I really didn't enjoy it. But I'll talk more about it in the video coming out eventually. It keeps getting pushed back. It was supposed to come out before this wrap up, but we have Monsterathon challenges, so it got pushed. Expect it in maybe a week to the day, because I also have an unboxing coming right after this video, so expect it soon enough. Next up, I read The Wicked King by Holly Black, and if you've been watching my wrap-ups consistently, which I doubt anyone has, but thank you if you have for some reason, you may know that I've never read The Cruel Prince. My sleep-logged brain just, like, I was looking for something else. I was looking for, like, the Wicked audiobook, like, the book Wicked with the musical. And I came across The Wicked King. I'm like, oh, everyone loves that book. I'll go ahead and, like, get a copy of the audiobook without considering that this is the second book in a series, and maybe it would be beneficial to read the first book in the series. Nope, I'm just going to jump right into it. It wasn't until, like, chapter 3 I realized, oh, wait, I don't know what's going on. So much stuff happened before this, and I totally missed it. It really wasn't hard to follow if you haven't read the first book, I will say. Like, I really enjoyed it, despite not reading the first book. It kind of makes me want to read the first book. It was one of those ones I stayed away from because everyone loved it, and I was so afraid, like, what if I don't like it and I had a differing opinion? And, like, not that anyone watches my videos anyway, but it's like, pitchforks. No, but I actually really enjoyed The Wicked King, even without reading the first book, which should also grant me pitchforks, because who does that? Who keeps going once they realize that I haven't read the first book of the series? I did, and I really enjoyed the book. Don't know if I'll get to Queen of Nothing, but I'm kind of interested in reading The Cruel Prince now, so there's that. Next up, I had an E-Arc of Illumination, which I just realized I still need to review on Amazon, because this is an indie self-published book, and that was the whole point of me getting an arc, was to review it on Amazon, and it came out the day before I filmed this video. Oh no. I'll do that as soon as we're done here. Illumination is the last book in the Lost Children world by Krista Street, and it is a series that I hold very dear to my heart. This is a series I've pretty much read since the beginning by accidentally finding the book on Kindle for free and developing a relationship with the author. I interviewed the author on my channel. It's like the pinned video on my page. Depending on how you go into it, I don't know how it works or how it looks anymore. I did that like years ago. And just reading her books ever since, I've really enjoyed her writing. I've really enjoyed her characters. I've really enjoyed this world. Although it kind of gets a little samey after a while, but I still really, 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 really enjoy it. And what I mean by samey is just kind of the motivations of characters. It was nice for the flip up in certain ones where we get different perspectives from the main character, Lena, and that is what Illumination is. This one follows one of the adopted family, and not one that I expected. I was very surprised by who she decided to narrate, and it was very exciting. So if you ever want to check out this series, I'll link Krista Street's Amazon down below, and you guys should check it out because it's really fun. I love her stuff. Next up is The Troop by Nick Cutter, another one of my MONSTERATHON reads. Let me tell you, Cruel Beauty, The Killer Book of Serial Killers, those were the only other two from my MONSTERATHON TBR that are on here. And then we have number 3, The Troop by Nick Cutter. This one, oh my god, this one was one, Angry Mob, I believe, where a lot of people have read it and recommended it. So yeah, Natasha from My Reading is Odd, like, talked about this book a lot, and that's what really made me pick it up. So I was just like, yes, I like what you're describing here. Even though, at first, when I first saw it, she was like, I don't like it, but then, when she finished the book, she's like, I love this. I'm like, I concur, and now it's in my hands. And I saw another smaller booktuber talk about it, and I feel really bad that I didn't remember write down who that booktuber was. But this book, oh my god, it is, like, body horror. It is, like, just, like, people being terrible people. It is such a, like, fascinating book, and the way it's written, you have, like, actual, like, reading chapters, and then there are points where you see, like, newspaper clippings and, like, audio recordings of these experiments, and the scientists just, wow, it's like really cool, like lab experiments, and how it progressed from in the lab to escaping and contaminating the real world. And this book was wild, and I really, really, really loved it. If you can handle body horror, if you can handle like some kind of messed up stuff, I would recommend The Troop by Nick Cutter, because this book was utterly fantastic. It was such a good horror movie. Horror book to lead into October. Like, oh my god. And plus, it's blurred by Stephen King on the cover, so you know there's promise there. And let me tell ya, there was. Next up from Owl Crate this month, I have The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones. And this one, another fantastic read. I loved this book so freaking much. It started out kind of slow, but then it like picked up and it really got me invested in the story, invested in the characters. I really love these characters. There was a slow burn romance in this book that I absolutely live for, and I ship these two so hard. I just really love the characters themselves as well. And this one, the dead are basically coming back. They don't call them zombies, they call them bone houses. Because even without their flesh, even with like just being skeletons, they come back. And usually they tend to not leave this forest outside the village. But they start coming in and causing some mayhem. So our main girl, what is her name? I love this book and I can't even think of her name. Rin. She, along with a mapmaker, Ellis, decide to venture into the mountains to try and find this story from fable, this place from the story and legend that is supposed to hold this pot that brought people back from the dead, like, long ago. There's a whole story within it, and they're trying to find it and destroy it and stop the dead from coming back and stop the dead from terrorizing, because every night they will come up and they wreak havoc, and it's only a matter of time until more people die. I was not expecting to like this book as much as I did. I'd never heard of it before Owl Crate, and my god, I'm so glad I was sent this copy. And plus, the Owl Crate edition is beautiful. Usually it is black. This one is white. I like the spots, like the brown spots that kind of match the skull rather than just an all black cover. I just really enjoy the speckleness of it, and I think it suits the story better. I don't know. I just really, really like this book. It's so good. That is one I would recommend. And then finally this month, I finished both The Bone Houses and Impossible Music on the same day, the last day of the month, because I was pushing it, getting my last 100 pages in for the Monsterathon. This one was actually on my Subathon TBR, and you obviously know, or you might not know, the Subathon was only a week. I read maybe 100 pages within that week for the Subathon. And Impossible Music was the only book from my Subathon TBR that I did end up reading and finishing. Though late, we're gonna pass over that. It's fine. It's fine. This one is by Sean Williams. It is about this 18-year-old who he goes to sleep one night. He can hear just fine, and he wakes up, discovers he has had a stroke or a seizure. It's a stroke, and he wakes up. He had a stroke while asleep, and he wakes up not being able to hear. He's deaf now, and now he has to learn Auslan, which is the Australian form of sign language. He has to learn how to cope with like this new deafness that just hit him so suddenly, and learn how to deal with all that, all while trying to balance his figure out what he's gonna do with his love for music. His life revolves around music. He is in a band. He creates music. He inhales music, and now it's just gone from his life like that. This was a pretty good book. It was really interesting because though he can't hear, sometimes he would still talk, and you would see a lot of people like signing things to him, or there would be like typing conversations. But he really tries to fight this deafness, even though there's really nothing he can do about it. He tries to fight the fact that he is deaf. He's kind of in denial for most of the book, just like talking out loud, and then people around him start refusing to speak back to him or type to him. They start forcing him to look at this Auslan and learn how to sign. It's a really good book. This guy I feel so bad for him because he's trying so hard to just live his normal life, but he can't now because he can't hear, and then he has hopes that maybe it'll come back, and it's kind of heartbreaking. It's wild. I really enjoy this book. This is one from a haul that I did in July. This is the last book from that haul. This is the one I enjoyed the most from that haul. All the other books were the other two books were kind of disappointing. This one was my favorite, and I'm really glad I picked it up. Plus the neon cover. I love it. And there you guys go. That is my wrap up for Monsterathon and reading in general and kind of the Subathon, even though I really failed at the Subathon, but we're not going to talk about that. All in all, I think I terrorized over 3,000 villagers for the Monsterathon because I did all the challenges. I read most of the days. I posted my TBR. I'm going to be posting my wrap-up. I didn't do all the challenges. I could have, but Wicked, like, I started reading it, and it's like, I have to DNF this. I can't do this. I can't do this for 400 pages. What other books I have on my TBR? There was one I picked up that turned out to be a sequel. Now it was a lot harder to follow than The Wicked King, so I kind of set that one down and never picked it up again. There are a couple that I just didn't start at all. I don't even know where they are at the moment. So there's also that. But this readathon was really fun. Thank you, Kate, and everyone who hosted for creating it, because I freaking loved it. It was such a motivator to read. And I don't know how well it will translate on the screen right now because of the angling, but my MONSTERATHON bullet journal page was one of my favorite things to do. I loved this so much. I love brainstorming it and designing it and just having this like dark page in the middle of my bullet journal where I could just use white gel pen. Ignore the thing that just fell out. And I just loved it so much. I had so much fun with like this whole thing. And yeah, thank you, Kate and everyone, because it was awesome. And that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you have a lovely day/night, and I'll see you later. Bye.